Howdy, partners. Saddle up and get ready for a wild ride through the untamed heart of the West. This ain't your grandpappy's history book. We're talking about a land where the sun bakes the earth hard, where the wind whispers secrets through the canyons, and where justice is won with grit, gumption, and maybe a little gunpowder. Out here, folks carve their own destinies from the rugged landscape, but danger lurks around every bend. It's a place where a man's word is his bond, and trust is a precious commodity. So grab your Stetson, cinch your saddle tight, and get ready to meet the folks who call this unforgiving land home. This here's the story of Blue Horizon Ranch, a sprawling spread of land as wild and untamed as the folks who own it. It's a tale as old as time itself, good versus evil, love and loss, and the fight for what's right, no matter the cost. At the heart of our story are Jett and Jennifer, two souls bound by love, loyalty, and a shared passion for protecting their land and their legacy. Jett, a man of few words but unwavering resolve, is as comfortable in the saddle as he is facing down danger. He's tough as nails, with a heart of gold hidden beneath a gruff exterior. Jennifer, on the other hand, is a force of nature. She's sharp as a whip, with a tongue as quick as a rattlesnake's strike. But beneath that fiery spirit beats a heart full of compassion and an unwavering determination to protect those she loves. Together, Jett and Jennifer face down every challenge this untamed land throws their way. They're a team, partners in every sense of the word, their love tested and strengthened with each passing day. But their idyllic life on the ranch is threatened. A shadow has fallen over Blue Horizon, cast by a man named Virelli, a ruthless land baron with a hunger for power and a thirst for control. Virelli wants Blue Horizon for himself, and he'll stop at nothing to get it. Jett and Jennifer find themselves caught in a web of deceit and danger, their very lives hanging in the balance. They must unravel Virelli's schemes and expose him for the fraud he is, all while protecting their land, their legacy, and the love that binds them together. Get ready, folks, because the stakes have never been higher, and the ride is about to get bumpy. The silence of the desert night was broken only by the soft crackle of the fire and the distant howl of a coyote. Jett and Jennifer sat huddled over a table in the ranch house, their faces illuminated by the warm glow of a kerosene lamp. They were poring over a jumble of papers, piecing together the puzzle of Virelli's schemes like detectives hot on a trail. Rumors had been swirling around Virelli for years, whispers of shady dealings, forced buyouts, and unexplained disappearances. But nothing concrete, nothing Jett and Jennifer could put their finger on, until now. A chance encounter, a slip of the tongue from a nervous rancher, and they found themselves staring at a trail of breadcrumbs, leading straight to Virelli's doorstep. These weren't just whispers anymore, they were tangible threads of deceit, and Jett and Jennifer were determined to unravel the entire tapestry. Each document, each hushed conversation, each furtive glance from a wary townsperson brought them closer to the truth. They were like prospectors panning for gold, each fleck of evidence fueling their resolve. The stakes were higher than ever, but Jett and Jennifer were never ones to back down from a fight. They knew the dangers, felt the weight of their community's hopes resting on their shoulders. But they also knew that silence was complicity, and they wouldn't stand idly by while their world crumbled around them. The time for whispers was over. It was time to make Virelli answer for his crimes. Section 2. The Shadow of Suspicion. Virelli's Reach. Virelli's influence was like a disease, slowly poisoning their town, their livelihoods, their very way of life. He had his fingers in every pie, his tendrils wrapped around the local businesses and politicians. He was a puppet master, pulling strings from the shadows, his true motives shrouded in secrecy. Jett and Jennifer discovered that Virelli's web of deceit was far more extensive than they initially imagined. He had judges and sheriffs in his pocket, their loyalty bought and paid for. He controlled the banks, squeezing ranchers dry with impossible loans, forcing them to sell their land for pennies on the dollar. Fear was Virelli's most potent weapon. He ruled through intimidation and threats, silencing anyone who dared to question his authority. He had eyes and ears everywhere, his network of informants spreading like a spiderweb across the territory. But for every shadow, there was a flicker of light. Jett and Jennifer knew they weren't alone in their fight. There were still good people in their town, folks who remembered a time when honesty and hard work were valued above greed and power. They just needed a reason to stand up, a beacon of hope to rally behind. And Jett and Jennifer were determined to be that beacon. Section 3. Allies in the Shadows, a network of trust. Even the loneliest cowboy needs a posse. And Jett and Jennifer were fortunate to have a loyal one, bound by trust and a shared sense of justice. Tom, their weathered foreman, knew every inch of the ranch and the surrounding territories like the back of his calloused hand. He was their eyes and ears on the ground, his network of ranchers and drifters providing invaluable intel. Mary, their housekeeper, might have seemed like a harmless old woman, but beneath her warm smile and gentle demeanor hid a mind as sharp as a tack. She was a vault of information, privy to the whispers and secrets that circulated through the town. She was their canary in the coal mine, alerting them to any shifts in Virelli's schemes. And then there was Sam, their unlikely ally from the East Coast. A young man more comfortable with books and gadgets than horses and guns, Sam's technological prowess proved to be an invaluable asset. He was their secret weapon, intercepting messages, decoding ciphers, and ensuring their communications remained undetected by Virelli's spies. Each member of their posse brought their unique skills and perspectives to the fight, their loyalty to Jett and Jennifer and their shared love for their land forming an unbreakable bond. They were a family, forged in the fires of adversity, and they would face whatever lay ahead together. Section 4. Trails of Deception. Jett and Jennifer's Pursuit. Jett and Jennifer were tireless in their pursuit of the truth. They followed every lead, no matter how tenuous, their investigation taking them from the dusty backrooms of saloons to the opulent parlors of wealthy townsfolk. They posed as ranchers down on their luck, desperate to sell their land, gleaning information from Virelli's men in dimly lit saloons. Jennifer, with her charm and quick wit, infiltrated the social circles of Virelli's associates, listening intently to their gossiping wives and disgruntled mistresses, gleaning crucial pieces of information from their careless whispers. She was a chameleon, adapting to her surroundings, her true motives masked behind a disarming smile. They were like bloodhounds on the scent of their prey, sniffing out inconsistencies, piecing together fragments of conversations, and following the money trail that snaked its way through Virelli's corrupt empire. Each clue, each encounter, each narrow escape fueled their determination. They were racing against time, knowing that with every passing day, Virelli tightened his grip on their town, their lives hanging precariously in the balance. They wouldn't rest until they exposed him for the fraud he was, until justice was served, and the shadow that had fallen over Blue Horizon was lifted once and for all. Section 1. Dangerous Liaisons, Navigating a Web of Lies. Jett felt the weight of every lie he told, every bluff he made, as he sat across from Virelli's men in the smoky haze of the saloon. He had to play his part perfectly, appear desperate to sell his land, a broken rancher willing to do anything to survive. But beneath the surface, his mind raced, analyzing every word, every gesture, every flicker of emotion in their eyes. Jennifer, meanwhile, navigated the treacherous waters of high society with the grace of a swan and the cunning of a fox. She attended their lavish parties, her laughter ringing out a little too brightly, her eyes sparkling with feigned admiration as she listened to their petty squabbles and veiled threats. Each encounter, each conversation was a tightrope walk, a delicate dance between gaining trust and revealing their true intentions. One wrong move, one slip of the tongue, and their carefully constructed facade would crumble, putting them in graver danger than ever before. They were surrounded by enemies, their every move scrutinized, their lives hanging by a thread. But they had each other, and in their shared love and unwavering trust, they found the strength to face the darkness head-on. Section 2. High Stakes and Close Calls, a game of cat and mouse. The pursuit of truth was fraught with danger. Jett found himself in high-stakes poker games where the chips were not just money but lives. He had to keep his cool, his expression carefully neutral as he bluffed his way through hand after hand, the pressure mounting with each card dealt. Jennifer, too, had her close calls. She narrowly avoided being caught snooping in Virelli's office, her heart pounding in her chest as she slipped out a side door moments before his men entered. She could feel their eyes on her, their suspicions growing, and she knew she was walking a razor's edge. Each day brought new challenges, new risks, new threats that tested their courage and their ingenuity. They were living on borrowed time, and they knew it. But they refused to be intimidated, their determination fueled by a burning sense of justice and an unwavering love for their land. They were playing a dangerous game, a game of cat and mouse with a ruthless and cunning adversary. But they were determined to be the ones left standing when the dust settled. Section 3. The walls close in. Virelli's grip tightens. As Jett and Jennifer dug deeper into Virelli's network of deceit, they discovered the true extent of his influence. The noose was tightening, not just around their necks, but around the necks of every decent, hard-working person in their town. Ranchers they had known their whole lives were forced to sell their land for a pittance, their legacy erased with a stroke of Virelli's pen. Businesses were shuttered, their owners driven to ruin by impossible taxes and relentless harassment. Fear had become a suffocating presence, silencing any whisper of dissent. Even their trusted allies weren't immune to Virelli's reach. Tom's son was threatened, Mary's niece was followed, and Sam's workshop was ransacked, a clear message that no one who dared to defy Virelli was safe. The stakes had never been higher, the danger more palpable. Jett and Jennifer knew that time was running out, that they were facing a force far greater than themselves, but they refused to be cowed, their determination hardening into steely resolve. Section 4, A Beacon of Hope, Defiance in the Face of Fear. Word spread like wildfire through the oppressed community. Jett and Jennifer were fighting back. They were a beacon of hope in the encroaching darkness, a symbol of resistance against Virelli's tyranny. Whispers of defiance replaced whispers of fear. People started to find their voices again, emboldened by Jett and Jennifer's unwavering courage. Small acts of rebellion began to surface, a refusal to pay an unfair tax, a whispered word of encouragement to a struggling neighbor, a hidden message scrawled on a wall. Jett and Jennifer knew that the road ahead would be long and arduous, fraught with danger and uncertainty, but they also knew they weren't alone. They had the support of their community, the love of their family, and the fire of justice burning brightly in their hearts. They were ready to face the flames, to fight for their land, their freedom, and their future. The battle for Blue Horizon had just begun. Section 1, Tom, the steady hand on the reins. Tom, the ranch foreman, was as much a fixture of Blue Horizon as the rolling hills and the endless sky. He'd been with Jett's father since Jett was a boy, more a gruff uncle than an employee. He knew every inch of the land, every head of cattle, every creak of the ranch house in the wind. His loyalty was as solid as the oak that grew by the river, his word as good as gold. He was the steady hand on the reins, the voice of experience in a storm. Jett trusted him implicitly, relied on his judgment, his knowledge of the land, and his ability to read people as easily as he read the weather. Tom's role in their fight against Virelli was multifaceted. He was their eyes and ears on the ground, his network of ranchers, cowboys, and drifters providing invaluable intel on Virelli's movements, his men, and his plans. He was the silent partner, the one who ensured that supplies were delivered, that messages were relayed, that the ranch kept running smoothly, even as the world around them seemed on the verge of collapse. He was the rock, the anchor, the steady presence that kept Jett and Jennifer grounded even in the most turbulent of times. Section 2, Merry Eyes and Ears in the Shadows. Mary, the housekeeper, was a force of nature disguised in a gingham apron and a warm smile. She'd been with the family for as long as anyone could remember, her presence a comforting constant in their lives. But beneath her grandmotherly exterior beat the heart of a lioness, fiercely protective of those she loved. Mary had a knack for blending in, for becoming invisible when she needed to be. She moved through the ranch house, the town, the social gatherings of Virelli's circle, her eyes and ears always open, absorbing information like a sponge. She knew everyone's secrets, their weaknesses, their vulnerabilities. She was a master of observation, a silent observer of human nature. She was Jett and Jennifer's secret weapon, their informant in the enemy camp. She fed them information, whispered warnings, and provided a woman's perspective on the intricacies of social dynamics that often eluded her male counterparts. She was the spider in the web, her threads of information weaving a tapestry of truth that Jett and Jennifer used to navigate the treacherous landscape of Virelli's deceit. Section 3, Sam, the unexpected maverick. Sam was an anomaly in their world of horses and cattle, saloons and showdowns. A young man from the East Coast, he'd come to Blue Horizon seeking adventure, a respite from the stifling confines of his privileged upbringing. He found it, though not in the way he expected. He might not have been a natural with a lasso or a six-shooter, but he was a whiz with anything mechanical. He could fix a broken wagon wheel, repair a faulty telegraph machine, and rig up a communication system with a pile of scrap metal and a prayer. In a world still grappling with the wonders of technology, Sam was a maverick, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. He was their secret weapon, their tech whiz, his skills proving invaluable in their fight against Virelli. He was the one who intercepted messages, decoded ciphers, and ensured their communications remained undetected by Virelli's spies. He was the bridge between the old world and the new, his ingenuity and resourcefulness proving that even in the Wild West, brains could be just as powerful as brawn. Section 1. Crimson Sky, Burning Fury. The Inferno ignites. The air grew thick with the smell of pine needles and fear. What began as a thin wisp of smoke on the horizon quickly morphed into a raging inferno, fueled by dry brush and a relentless wind. Virelli, true to his ruthless nature, had escalated the fight, unleashing a weapon as unpredictable as it was devastating. The tranquility of Blue Horizon was shattered. Flames danced across the parched landscape, consuming everything in their path with a hungry roar. Trees that had stood for generations crackled and hissed, their branches reaching skyward like skeletal fingers as they succumbed to the heat. Panic rippled through the ranch hands as the fire closed in, threatening to engulf their livelihoods, their homes, their very way of life. But amidst the chaos, Jett and Jennifer remained calm, their voices cutting through the fear like a beacon in the smoke. This wasn't just a fire, it was a declaration of war, and Jett and Jennifer were ready to fight fire with fire. Section 2. A race against the flames protecting Blue Horizon. Adrenaline surged through Jett's veins as he directed their desperate battle against the blaze. Every second counted, every decision could mean the difference between salvation and utter devastation. He barked orders, his voice hoarse but unwavering, his eyes constantly scanning the shifting lines of fire, anticipating its next move. Jennifer, her quick thinking and sharp instincts coming to the fore, organized the ranch hands, their usual routines replaced by the urgent choreography of survival. They formed bucket brigades, their faces illuminated by the eerie orange glow of the flames as they ferried water from the well to the front lines. Tom, his years of experience proving invaluable, took charge of evacuating the livestock, herding cattle and horses towards safety, his weathered face a mask of concern as he urged them onward. He knew the land, knew the paths less traveled, the hidden gullies and streams that could offer a temporary respite from the inferno. Sam, his city-bred sensibilities momentarily forgotten, threw himself into the fray, his ingenuity shining through as he devised ways to communicate through the smoke and chaos. He became their lifeline, his messages relayed through a combination of signal flags, mirrors, and sheer determination, ensuring that everyone remained connected, even as the fire threatened to engulf them all. Section 3. Courage Under Fire. Jett and Jennifer's Resolve. The fire raged for what felt like an eternity, testing the limits of their endurance, their courage, their faith. The air was thick with smoke, the acrid taste stinging their lungs, the roar of the flames a constant assault on their senses. Yet through it all, Jett and Jennifer refused to yield. They were the heart of Blue Horizon, and their love for their land, their people, was a force as powerful as the fire itself. They drew strength from each other, their bond forged in the crucible of shared danger, their resolve hardening with every passing hour. There were moments of doubt, of despair, when the flames seemed insurmountable, the task ahead impossible. But even in the darkest hours, they found solace in each other's eyes, a shared determination to protect what was theirs, to emerge from the ashes stronger than ever before. They fought not just for their land, but for their people, for the very soul of Blue Horizon, and in their fight they found a depth of courage they never knew they possessed. Section 4. Thunder in the Smoke, a bond forged in fire. Throughout the ordeal, Thunder was more than just a horse. He was a guardian angel, a symbol of unwavering loyalty and strength. He navigated the smoke-filled trails with an almost supernatural instinct, his powerful legs carrying Jett through danger time and time again. There was an unspoken understanding between man and beast, a bond forged in countless hours spent riding the range, facing down storms, sharing the quiet moments beneath a vast, star-filled sky. Thunder trusted Jett implicitly, and that trust was repaid in kind. Jennifer, witnessing their connection, felt a surge of pride and gratitude. In the midst of such devastation, their bond was a testament to the enduring power of love, loyalty, and the unbreakable spirit that binds man and animal together, even in the face of unimaginable adversity. The fire had tested them, pushed them to their limits, but it had also revealed their true mettle. They had stared into the abyss and emerged stronger, their bond unbreakable, their spirits tempered by the flames. Blue Horizon, though scarred, would rise again. and Jett, Jennifer, and Thunder would be there, standing watch, ready to face whatever the future held. Section 1. Embers of Fear. Vulnerability laid bare. As the last tendrils of smoke rose into the darkening sky, a different kind of heat settled upon Jett and Jennifer. It wasn't the searing heat of the flames, but the slow burn of exhaustion, the lingering adrenaline that left their nerves raw and exposed. The fight had taken its toll, leaving them physically and emotionally drained, their usual defenses stripped away. Jennifer, her usual fiery spirit dampened by exhaustion, found herself trembling, her usual bravado replaced by a wave of fear she couldn't quite contain. The fragility of their existence, the realization that they could have lost everything, washed over her like a tidal wave. Jett, witnessing her vulnerability, felt a surge of protectiveness. He too had been shaken to his core, the stoic mask he wore for the world momentarily forgotten as he pulled her close, seeking solace in their shared silence. He might not have had the words to express the turmoil raging within him, but his touch, the way he held her as if she were the most precious thing in his world, spoke volumes. In the aftermath of the fire, amidst the smoldering ruins of their dreams, they allowed themselves to be vulnerable with each other, to acknowledge the fear that gnawed at their hearts. It was a side of themselves they rarely showed the world, a testament to the depth of trust and love that bound them together. Section 2. Whispers in the Ashes. Words unspoken. Words seemed inadequate, superfluous in the face of such devastation. They sat together, their shoulders touching, their silence a tapestry woven from shared experience, unspoken fears, and a love that ran deeper than words could express. Jett, a man of action rather than words, struggled to articulate the emotions swirling within him. He wanted to reassure her, to tell her that everything would be all right, but the words felt hollow, meaningless in the face of such uncertainty. Jennifer, sensing his struggle, didn't press for words. She understood his silences, the way his gruff exterior often hid a depth of feeling he rarely revealed. His presence, the comforting weight of his arm around her shoulders, was enough. It was a language they had spoken for years, a silent dialogue of love, understanding, and unwavering support. In the quiet moments that followed the inferno, they found solace in each other's presence, their silence more profound than any words they could utter. They had faced their fears, stared into the abyss, and emerged together, their bond stronger, their love a beacon in the darkness. Section 3. A Promise in the Smoke. Love amidst the ruins. As the first rays of dawn pierced through the smoke-filled sky, casting an ethereal glow over the charred landscape, Jett and Jennifer surveyed the damage to their ranch. It was a scene of utter devastation, buildings reduced to smoldering rubble, fences torn asunder, the once familiar landscape scarred and blackened. Jett, his hand finding Jennifer's in the pre-dawn light, raised it to his lips, his calloused thumb gently caressing her skin. "Jett, we'll rebuild," he whispered, his voice rough with emotion, his gaze holding hers with an intensity that sent shivers down her spine. It wasn't a question, but a vow, a promise etched not just in words but in the depths of his soul. Jennifer, her heart aching at the sight of their beloved ranch in ruins, felt a surge of love and gratitude wash over her. She knew the road ahead would be long and arduous, filled with challenges and setbacks. But with Jett by her side, she felt an unshakable certainty that they could overcome anything. Their love, forged in the crucible of danger and tested by fire, had emerged stronger, more resilient than ever before. It was a love that transcended words, a love that would sustain them through the long process of rebuilding, a love that promised to light their way through the darkest of nights. Section 4. Sunrise over blue horizon, a new dawn, a stronger bond. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, chasing away the last vestiges of night, Jett and Jennifer surveyed their ravaged land with a newfound clarity. The fire had taken much from them, but it had also revealed the depth of their love, their resilience, their unwavering commitment to each other, and to the legacy of Blue Horizon. They would rebuild. They would honor the memory of what had been lost by creating something even stronger, even more beautiful than before. The fire might have scorched the earth, but it had also cleared away the debris, leaving a clean slate upon which to build their future. Jett, we'll get through this, together. As they stood together, hand in hand, watching the sun rise over the horizon, they knew that Blue Horizon was more than just a ranch. It was a symbol of their love, their resilience, their unyielding spirit. They had faced their fears, weathered the storm, and emerged stronger, their bond unbreakable. The future might be uncertain, but they would face it together, hand in hand, their love a guiding light on the path ahead. Section 1. Riders on the Storm. Reflections on Resilience. Whew, what a roller coaster, right? Jett and Jennifer have faced down deceit, stared danger in the eye, and walked through literal fire to protect what they hold dear. They've taught us that courage isn't about never feeling fear, but about saddling up and riding straight into the storm anyway. Remember when Jennifer found her voice shaking, her tough-as-nails facade cracking just a little? That's real life, folks. Even the strongest hearts feel the tremors when everything's on the line. But she didn't crumble, did she? She leaned on Jett, on their shared strength, and found her footing again. And Jett, the strong, silent type who always seems to have it handled, seeing him reach out to Jennifer to offer comfort without needing a whole heap of words, that's the mark of a true partner. They're learning that even out here on the frontier, facing down bad guys and raging infernos, vulnerability ain't weakness. It's the secret ingredient to unbreakable bonds. These two, they ain't just fighting for land or cattle, they're fighting for the kind of love that makes you braver, tougher, more resilient than you ever thought possible. And that's a fight worth fighting, wouldn't you say? Section 2, The Wild Ride continues. A glimpse beyond the horizon. But this ain't the end of the trail, not by a long shot. Virelli's shadow still looms large, his thirst for power far from quenched. And now, with the flames of revenge licking at his heels, he's bound to be even more dangerous, more unpredictable. What schemes will he cook up next? Will Jett and Jennifer's love be enough to weather the coming storm? Will their allies stand strong, or will the pressure of Virelli's ruthlessness prove too much to bear? We're galloping headlong into chapters 7 and 8 titled Cross Currents and Fractures, and trust me folks, the title alone should tell you things are about to get real interesting. Alliances will be tested, loyalties questioned, and the line between right and wrong will blur faster than a runaway stagecoach in a dust storm. So saddle up, partners, and hold on tight. The wild ride of Vale of the West is far from over, and you won't want to miss a single twist, turn, or tumbleweed along the way.